to do with your 401k after you leave a job. So this applies to what you should do with your 401k after you leave a company, and that doesn't matter how you leave or under what conditions. It's your 401k, you take it with you. So there are a couple of options, and I'm going to go through the list so that you know and what to think about and what questions to ask when you're determining what to do with your 401k. Well, the first option is to simply leave it where it's at. So you can leave it in the fund, or if there's a third-party company that your employer has contracted with that manages that account, you can leave it in that account. That's probably the easiest. The one thing or a couple things you need to look about whether or not that's the best for you is typically when you work for a company, you only have limited options, like limited mutual funds or stocks and such to choose from. So they may not be the best ones on the market for you. So that's something to consider. Like, well, what are your options? And then what are the returns? The big question is, are they beating the industry average? Are they beating the S&P 500 an index fund? So if you could take the money out and put it in an index fund by yourself, and you can do that with like a brokerage account, is that money making more or less? So that's kind of one way to look at it. The other thing you need to look at is, what are the annual fees? Are there any annual fees? Are there maintenance fees? All of that information that's associated with that account. Okay. So also to let you know, there's no time limit to move this account. So you can always keep this money in that account until you retire or whenever you want to take the money out. So this doesn't have to be an immediate situation, or this doesn't have to be an immediate decision when you leave a company that you have to do it within a certain time frame. Honestly, I have one of my accounts still with the original employer, and I haven't worked for them for about 10 years as well. So the money's doing well, there's low to no fees, so it works fine for me. Now the second option is if you are employed with the new company, you do have the option of rolling your 401k from the current place to your new employer, and that whoever they have their funds managed through. And you know, the reasons why you may want to do this is so that you can simply keep your money together in one account. That does make it a lot easier when you're not having to manage multiple 401k accounts. So you can roll it over to the new account. You would want to do this if it has lower or no annual fees to manage your money. Another thing to look at is, you know, do they have better options? Do they have better choices of stocks and mutual funds and ETFs and things that you can invest in? So are they better? If it's worse, and say you move from a portfolio where you have 100 options or 100 different choices, and then now you only have 20 choices to choose from, and the returns are not that great, then definitely it's not worth for you to move your money over there. One thing to note is that when you do roll your money from the old place to the new employer, you want to make sure that you have all your account information set up so that the old fund rolls the money directly to the new fund. So basically you do not want to cash that out. You want to make sure the money gets transferred directly to your new account, because you do not want to have to pay taxes and penalties on that. We'll talk about that in just a moment as well. So the third option of what you can do with your money is to simply cash it out. Now, I will say you're looking at that big chunk of money, whether it's 3 figures, 4 figures, 5, 6 figures, and it may look great because say you saved $5,000 over the last couple of years and you have that and you can cash it out, and then you can use it to pay for, go on vacation or down payment for a new car or pay off some old bills. But the reality is this is probably the least preferred option, because you've spent your money, you've spent your time and your effort, and you've saved this money to put it in your 401k for your retirement. So continue to do that. So don't be like tempted with that little money hanging in front of your face as an easy spend. You definitely want to keep that in a pot for your 401k retirement. The other reason why you don't want to do it, especially if you're not of retirement age, is because you have to pay a 10% penalty. So guess what? When they write that check to you, they automatically take off the 10% penalty. And you also have to pay taxes on that money, because while you were employed, you did not pay taxes on that money. It was taken out of your checking account or taken out of your pay, and then the government assessed the taxes from there. So now that you have this money and you haven't paid taxes on it to the government, you will have to do that when you cash it out at this point. So that means, you can get paid anywhere from 20 to 35%. So, a $5,000 check all of a sudden, or $5,000 balance, all of a sudden is going to be down to maybe $3,500. And you know what? That's a lot of money just to pay off to someone else all of a sudden. And it doesn't look quite as nice, especially when you've been saving that at your job for the last couple of years, or whatever that dollar amount happens to be. So another way of thinking about it is, even if you're tempted with that money just sitting there of like, well, I can do so much with this, just remember that even, if you've been preaching or whatever money, just remember that even a 4% return on your money over 10, 20, 30 years, that's going to be a big difference of $100, $1,000, $4,000. So right now it may not seem like a lot of money, but once you start doing the math and you're doing the compound interest and you're doing it for decades out, it's going to be a huge sum of money. And if you use that money now and you waste it for clothes or something that you really don't need, then when you are ready to retire, you're going to lose out potentially on a lot more money. Now, the fourth option is you can move your money to a self-directed plan. So basically what that means is that you can find a company that holds 401k accounts. There's a couple different options there. Traditionally like real estate or brokerage accounts. And then you get to choose what within that fund or within that company, you get to choose what to do with your money. A couple of things that I would caution you to look at is, what are the annual fees? What are the maintenance fees? What are the fees to buy or trade stocks or buy or trade real estate? So what are the fees that you're going to have to pay for just to have your money with that company? Another thing you may want to consider is, what is the level of customer service that you get from this company, and what is the level of financial advice? So if you are moving to a brokerage company where you can buy and trade stocks on your own, but you're not quite sure, like you still need more education, you don't know exactly everything there is to know about stocks, what does this new company offer you? Is it webinars? Can you talk to a certified broker? Can you get some actual financial advice? One advantage of having your own self-directed brokerage account is that you are in control of what to do with your money. So that's a plus. The downside of it is you are in control of what to do with your money. And if you don't know what to do with your money, then that's not going to be beneficial to you. Now, as I always encourage everybody, it's a financial education. It's your money, your life. You got to take control and start learning how to do it. Thank you for watching this, and please subscribe to Smart and Sassy Money on YouTube. Please visit our website at www.smartandsassymoney.com. Thank you very much.